Hey, good morning. Today I'm going to talk about gear again, specifically going light. And where this comes from is in my previous gear talks, I've talked about the general concept of how you might want to equip yourself, and I've also been pretty adamant about using plate carriers, body armor, where possible. I still absolutely stand by that, but if you kind of mull around the subject a little bit and you think about it a little bit, a lot of the reality out there is a lot of you guys aren't going to be wearing plate carriers for whatever reasons. And one of those reasons actually might be that despite all the best intentions, is that if you imagine a kind of a collapse type scenario, well, in that collapse type scenario, if it's going on for a long time, it might be hot, it might be that you're dealing with a whole bunch of different things, but you've also got to consider, defending wherever it is that you are. And in that situation, it might be that just plate carriers largely go by the by. I would still recommend that you have them, because you're going to want to use them for specific operations. If you had to do some kind of direct action operation, if you had to go out there and lay an ambush, if you had to go out there and do a raid. But generally around and about the place, you're probably, in many cases, I just have to accept the reality that you're not going to be wearing a plate carrier. And so based on that reality, let's talk about that. Let's get into that a little bit. So it's always a balance between firepower and protection. If you're going to have a plate carrier, then what you want to do is you want to invest in some lightweight plates that are effective, because you want them to not be heavy. You don't want to go with steel. I would say don't even go with steel. Go with no plates at all if you're considering steel. If you're going to get plate carrier, then get the best that you can get in terms of lightweight versus effectiveness. However, even a plate carrier is going to be hot, it's going to be sweaty, it's going to be heavier. So if you're just conducting everyday operations, patrolling, defensive around the area, that kind of thing, then like I've said, I just accept the reality when I observe students, when I see what the equipment that people are wearing, that kind of thing, that you're probably not going to largely be wearing a plate carrier. So rolling with that, we come back to what I've talked about before, which is having some kind of battle belt. The idea of the battle belt is that this is something you can wear most of the time, because what this does is it gives you a basic load. And as I've talked about my plate carrier, my battle belt before, you can go kind of as light or as heavy on this as you want to. But basically, this gives me the ability to carry, yes, I've got a multi-tool, I've got a tourniquet, I've got a handgun with spare handgun magazines over here, I've got a knife. I rigged it out today, I shoved the water in here because I'm not going to be carrying a backpack. I've got an IFAK here, a dump pouch if I need it, and a couple of ammo pouches. And this is no huge thing to be carrying around. So if you throw this on and wear it most of the time, however kind of light or as low profile as you want it, whether it's just literally a handgun, some spare mags, maybe a couple of rifle mags, however you decide you want to rig that up, that's your basic battle belt that you're going to wear around the place. You don't have to have a padded belt like this. I've got the Velcro that matches my belt, or attaches to the inner Velcro belt, and it stops it running around, and that's pretty cool. But you can go for any kind of battle belt however you want to set it up. But that's your basic thing, and so that's your starting load. So I would say there's your starting load, battle belt. It gives you some reloads, it gives you some self-defense, gives you some basic gear. Talked about that before. Then what we've got a chest rig. So this is what you're going to throw on should you decide to go anywhere. This chest rig is actually an MVT special operations rig. This is going to give you 4 magazines. So now you've plussed up to an effective battle load. What I've got here is I've actually attached some pouches on either side so that I can put some basic admin stuff into those. You've still got the pouches behind, which will each take up to a couple of magazines or radios, should you be running that. You've got the map pocket or document pocket with the compass pouch in here. And what you've got here is a fairly low profile piece of gear. It's not going to interfere with you holding your weapon on the front like so many people's gear does, where it comes out so far in the front, plate carrier, couple of mags stacked, and you're holding your weapon out like this. It's like this. It's not going to affect you going prone. It's easy to reload even from the prone position because mags are right here. So you've got mags on your belt and you've got mags along here. So this is a fairly lightweight thing that's not going to hugely affect you. So if you can combine the battle belt with a chest rig, then you've got that basic load to go out on patrol to do whatever it is you need to do. You are foregoing ballistic protection to the thoracic region. That's just the way it is. Be better at fieldcraft. One of the arguments is you can move faster with this stuff. You're more likely to go prone with this stuff. So there are pluses and minuses to the whole plate carrier argument. You can see that because I'm not going to be wearing a backpack today, then I've just thrown some water in here. But then you've got other options to throw any kind of backpack that you consider necessary, from a basic camelback type affair, just for some hydration, to maybe a little bit more, so that you can kind of plus up, you know, it might be winter, whatever it is, that you want to put something on your backpack, but nothing too heavy, a sort of a small backpack. The other aspect to that, of course, is that if you're wearing just this stuff, you do have the ability to wear more of a backpack because you can handle the weight a little bit better because you're not wearing a plate carrier. So these are all pluses and minuses to consider. I titled this video Getting Your G On, Getting Your Guerrilla On. I am generally amused by the internet right now. I see the boogaloo, I see all sorts of things being talked about, okay, nightmare stuff, okay, so this is, if such things should come to pass, some kind of disaster happens and you need to have the gear ready to defend your homestead, then this is the kind of thing you're looking at. You should also have a plate carrier rigged up, however you want it rigged up, so that you can have that additional ballistic protection. You should even, I've got a gear post on helmets, talked about helmets. Plate carrier and helmet is something you should definitely have. Many of you are going to be far more comfortable with something like this. Around and about the place, rifle somewhere within reach, got your basic battle belt. Handgun to fight your way to your rifle. You want to go out, you want to go on a little patrol, whatever it is, you can throw your chest rig on. You want to make sure you got more hydration, or you want to go a little bit further, or it's winter, etc. Throw a backpack on of whatever size you deem necessary. One of the things is, like for example, jungle operations. Well, are we in the jungle? Well, we're in Virginia. It's kind of rainy and humid today. It's kind of a little bit like the jungle. So you find that you will be able to operate better with this kind of load than if you throw plate carriers on. That's just not the kind of thing you want to be wearing in a high humidity, sort of jungly type environment, which there are plenty of places in the US that match that. So these are all definite considerations, sustainment, etc. I kind of, you know, I like running around in this stuff rather than wearing a plate carrier. Kind of feel a little bit naked without the plate carrier, because having worn it and kind of realized how good it can be in terms of saving lives, you know, I'm definitely pro plate carriers, but I can also see where there's lots of situations where I'd just be wearing this stuff. What I'm going to do is, just for, you know, shits and giggles, I'm going to run out, I'm going to put this stuff on, show you what it looks like when I've got this stuff on. I'm going to run just a live fire lane, just like as if I was on patrol, just myself, never a good idea, and just like a breaking contact, just to kind of illustrate the use of this gear and, you know, actually how kind of mobile it makes you, just for the sake of the video. Hey, so this is what I'm talking about with the gear. So we've got chest rig, pouch to the side, additional gear to the side if we need to, 4 mags on the front. We've got battle belt. So fairly lightweight. We can throw a backpack on if we need to. additional hydration, additional supplies, etc. Or if we had to take with us night vision gear, etc., because we're going to transition from day to night, etc., night to day. These are all things that we need to consider. Because it's fairly low profile on the front, it's not really going to impact the carriage and use of my weapon. So there's nothing here that's going to get in the way. It's fairly lightweight, and you know, I can move, and it's just a generally good bit of kit to rig yourself up like this. For those of you that are curious, this is not the Velocity Training Center, so I don't have pop-up targets here. This is actually in my backwoods, in Virginia, not in West Virginia. So that's where these Max talks mainly take place. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to run up a live fire lane that I've just put out there. It's going to be like a break contact thing, individual break contact. What I've done is I've put some stick-in targets in. I'm going to walk past those stick-in targets to get to the final one that I put in. What I'll do is I'll react to contact on that final one, and I'll come back down the range, and then obviously when the ones that I've already walked past come in, I'll start to sort of bring them in as I get back past them. So it's just a general thing like that. I'll try and rally, and then I'll get hit again as I move away from the rally point. And I'm going to try today, I'm going to try a head camera that I've got. So we'll see how that works out.